Alright, so we're going to start proving angle relationships. We just in 2.7 did segment relationships. They're going to be essentially the exact same two proofs that we did there, one addition, one subtraction, but we're going to do it using angles. That's really the only difference. Alright, so we have angle QPS congruent to angle TPR. So let's write that as our given. Remember, given always goes as your first step. And that's our given. Now we need to prove that QPR, this little angle over here, is congruent to this little angle over here, TPS. So what we're going to do with that is we're going to use this middle. The fact that the middle is part of both big angles, we're going to subtract it from both of them. That if I take that middle part away from angle QPS, I'm left with this bottom angle. So in order to take something away, I have to justify that it's congruent. It seems trivial to do, but I have to justify that RPS is congruent to RPS. It seems pointless, but it has to be done when we're justifying all of our steps. And this is reflexive property. So we're going to be using reflexive property a lot throughout the whole year because of this reason. Now that I know that it's congruent to itself, now I can subtract it from QPS and TPR. When I take it away, I'm left with QPR and angle TPS. And since I took something away, that's subtraction. Now let's look at the same type of proof, but it's not going to use that reflexive property. Instead, we have angle NOP is congruent to angle NPO. So the big angles are congruent. And once I say big angles, I know that I need to take something away, which is going to give me subtraction. I know angle ROP is congruent to angle RPO. So let me go ahead and write my givens. Angle NOP is congruent to angle NPO. Angle ROP is congruent to angle RPO. Alright, step 2. I already know two congruent parts. I know the big angle and I know a small angle. So if I take this entire angle down here and I take away that part that I already know something about, I'm left with the remainder. I'm left with this part that I'm shading in up here, as well as this part that I'm shading in up here. The two parts that are shaded in blue are what we're looking for, NOR and angle NPR. Because I had to take away the red angle from the black angle, it's subtraction. So those two proofs, look back at them, review them, look over them again and again. It's going to follow pretty much the same steps every time we do segment addition or segment subtraction. Some of them will use transitive, some of them will use reflexive properties you see here, but ultimately they have the same step here where you add or subtract.